Hi everyone, welcome back. Happy Monday. It is happy. I mean, I know it's raining outside, but you know, can't give everything. So today I thought I'd jump on here. First of all, check in with you guys, make sure how you're doing, what's going on with you. And I really wanted to talk to you predominantly about the new. We are entering a brand new world of what courts are going to look like, how hearings are going to be conducted. Now, I did, for all you busy bees out there, I did put up the latest guidance on how family courts would be looking like, effectively the new. So, I've gone through that document in case you just couldn't face it, because there's a lot, you know, there's a lot of words. So I've gone through it and I thought I'd bring to you what is court going to be looking like in the foreseeable. Well, here's a heads up. Firstly, get used to remote hearings. Okay, now I've talked about this quite often. There are pros and cons to having remote court hearings. I mean, an obvious pro is that you can be sitting at home, you can be relaxing at home, you haven't got the journey time to and from court. For some of you, that's quite a long journey. So you haven't got that. You will not be seeing the other side. Now, I know that in some courts they're trialing more of a face-to-face kind of Zoom-esque. They're not doing Zoom, by the way, okay? I know everybody and their mama and their dog has heard of Zoom by now, but the courts aren't doing Zoom. They have been trialing something called Skype Business, but so far that's kind of not working out. Let me just get rid of this a second. There we go. I can see all these messages popping up. So they've trialled that. It's not gone well. Somebody's internet connection is dodgy, so people come in and out. So I get why. I do, honestly, on a serious note, I do understand why they're not going into the realms of face-to-face. If somebody's internet is dodgy, it's tricky. It's tricky to manage. It's tricky enough as it is over the telephone. Now, as you guys know, I've already done my first face-to-face hearing, my real live face-to-face hearing already. It was a 2-day trial. They are going to be more infrequent. Okay, I know a lot of court staff and even some of you are waiting for things to go back to normal. They're not. Okay, so buckle up. This is how things are going to roll from now on. So get used to the remote hearings. Like I said, there's pros and cons. A pros is you don't have to travel, you don't have to see the other side. It's quite comforting, because honestly, one of the things that I do a lot of the time is reducing anxiety, and part of that anxiety, well, actually there's a lot of that. The part of that anxiety is being in a really unfamiliar place. I mean, if anyone's walked in a courtroom before, it can feel really intimidating. You've got the stress of that. You're in an unknown place. You don't know who's who. It's very unfamiliar territory. And some of those courthouses, you know, I mean, they're beautiful to look at. You've only got to look at Royal Courts of Justice on the television. I mean, it's beautiful, it's grand, you know, it's part of our culture. But man, if you're the one that has to go there and it's your court case, that can feel pretty overwhelming. So yeah, you haven't got you haven't got that stress and strain of being in the courtroom. You don't have the stress and strain of seeing your ex. You don't have the waiting. Can we just talk about the waiting for a moment? So if any of you have been in court, you know, if you know, you know, okay? When you're watching Ron Paul of the Bailey, Suits, LA Law, any of those, what you don't see is the hours of waiting around. It's that whole thing of that this is the reality. A plus of having a telephone hearing is you don't have any of that now. So one thing I absolutely love about these remote hearings is they are on time for the most part. And when I mean they're not on time, like in real court, they may have said 10. It could be 2 o'clock before you're seen before anybody, but that's okay. You don't have that with telephone court hearings, which is great. So you're minimising the time. There is, of course, downside, and the downside to that, of course, is that you're not getting, you miss out on that face-to-face pre-court negotiations, which can be super vital in a court application, especially when you've got help or you're represented. One of the amazing things about having that pre-court conversation is to either reach some agreement. Hey, I'm all about agreement. If we can get something in agreement, it works. It works a lot better than having an order imposed. So you miss out on that potential agreement, and even if both sides aren't in agreement, that opportunity just to narrow down the issues, to find out sometimes what is the issue. Now, I spoke a couple of days ago about allegations of abuse, and spoiler alert, like I said last time, every single court case will have allegations of abuse. Okay, so that opportunity before court to have a conversation is so important and can be really, really productive. Any of you that have been through court know that the magic happens before the court. In fact, the court hearing is normally the tip of the iceberg. So all the magic happens in the meetings, in the strategies, in the paperwork, the boring paperwork that goes on before court. One of the things that the court is doing is when they list for advocates meetings, they mean the representation. So so spoiler alert, most people who are walking through family law metaphorical doors are representing themselves. And if that is you, so you'll see a court order and they'll say, well, you know, this is the court time, and if advocates can have a meeting, say an hour beforehand, well, you know, that's bloody good, isn't it? So here's one of the things that I would suggest that's not been proposed yet. One of the things I always do is to suggest a round the table meeting. Now, although the court aren't going to be doing Zoom or face-to-face, usually, meetings, it doesn't stop you from organising a round the table meeting with your help, of course. So whether you have somebody that's assisting you, whether you've got whoever it is you've got helping you through this, just having that opportunity to have a round the table meeting cuts out the amount of time that you're in court. Speaking of documents, one of the things that you will be getting used to is, hallelujah, the courts now take service by email. Now, they always did take service by email, but just not on some massive things. In particular, and you'll hear me bang on about this forever, in particular, bundles. So if you've got a bundle to prepare, and if you don't know what that is, I am doing a separate live. By the way, guys, if you want me to do a live on any topic, let me know, okay? I'm throwing it out there, okay? Stuff that I think you should know. Sometimes even I miss the obvious. So what is it you'd like to know? What is it you'd like me to do a live specifically on? Okay, drop it in the comments below. Okay, and I'll oblige. But so yeah, documents are being served by email. Okay, that's like a huge plus. Okay, the only hearings that are not going to be remote are the contested and final hearings. Now, one of the cons actually of having telephone hearings is that you miss out on demeanour. Family law is based on the balance of probability, guys, you know, so and most of our communication is done non-verbally. That is a huge chunk cut out. I mean, you will know on a basic in everyday life, okay, you know somebody really well. You can tell by somebody's body language whether they're pissed off or whether they're happy, or, you know, you miss that roll of the eyes that think, well, whatever order I make, they're never going to stick to it. So you miss out on that. And when we think about only what 30% of our communication is verbal, that's a lot of communication cut out. So when you're dealing with a family court and you've got most of the communication cut out, are there going to be cock-ups? Probably. Okay, probably. However, and this is way before COVID, I've always maintained anyway that the magic, the real magic that takes place is not in a courtroom. If you think you're all going in Rumpole the Bailey, you may be too young to remember that. Or if you know what I'm talking about. Let me know in the comments if you had the faintest clue about who Rumpole the Bailey was. Am I just showing my age here? Probably. But you'll all remember Suits. It's not that, you know. It's not some kind, it's just not that. The reality really is that most of what you do is in your paperwork. The reality really is the meetings that you've had with your help, people like me helping you, saying, okay, well, I think we should do blah, 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 blah. What do you think? You know, what does contact actually look like to you? You know, rather than rocking up to court, metaphorically, of course, with your bag of stuff, your Tesco carrier bag of life, and saying to the court, get on with that, mate. So when we're in a world where civil court is based on a balance of probability, yeah, you're missing out on quite a bit by having the telephone hearing, okay? But that being said, contested hearings, final hearings, hearings where they could be dealt with on evidence, that's the key thing, okay? Those are the hearings that the court are looking, they are looking to have live, okay? Gotta say, okay, having been to a live court hearing, it's weird. I mean, court's weird anyway, right? But it does feel super weird, because it is. You know, we're in very, very strange times. So social distancing, it's tough. It's tough, you know, and the whole thing just of course it's going to feel a bit strange, but you know, we do what we can. If you are waiting for things to go back the way they are, no. In terms of how CAFCAS conduct their roles, or local authority, if you've had those involvements anyway, okay, this has been a moving beast, okay, because when lockdown happened, like strict lockdown, people like CAFCAS, local authority, social services, all of those were finding it difficult to honestly carry out their full role. And part of that full role would probably go and see you and child, yeah? Part of that can't happen. So whether you've had contact centres, it's all been thrown up in the air. You know, CAFCAS, local authority, haven't been able to properly do their jobs. Obviously they can't, because of COVID. And contact centres, if you're lumped with the only thing that's a contact centre and you're in that situation, saying, well, you know, contact centre shut, what you're going to do, I get it. But things are changing, okay? And as much as possible, we're getting this done, and we're opening up as quickly and as quickly and effectively as possible, okay? So I think the main heads up really for just welcoming you to the new is that remote hearings are going to be a thing to stay for a while. By the way, if you've got a finance hearing, or you're going through financial stuff, okay, that even more so is going to be done remotely. Okay, just a heads up there. So service by email, that's going to be a thing. Advocate meetings are going to be before the court date. But if you are not represented, or you're using someone like us, I would recommend that there be a round the table meeting, just so that there's that, you know, that ability to chat, narrow down the issue, see what can be agreed. You'll be amazed at what can be agreed, just a little bit of negotiations, and a third party, honestly. So that's it for now. Oh, did I mention service by email? And the only hearings that are being held, live hearings, okay, are the ones that are final and contested. I think that's my update. Couple of other updates. You are going to see some amazing changes very, 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 very shortly. I'd say within the next week or so, and all can be revealed as to what's been happening behind the scenes at Family Law Assistance. So Family Law Assistance, if you hadn't already guessed, if you didn't already know, has grown. I'm so proud. I'm actually honestly so proud. You guys have been there for, believe it or not, nearly 13 years. And in that time, we have now got to a point where, well, first of all, we're launching our new website. I know. So by the end of the week, you guys get to see our new spanking brand new website. You will also be introduced, and this is one of the bits I'm super excited about. You'll also be introduced to our graduates. Our graduates, ladies and gentlemen. We totally get that family law assistance by now is the leading market in non-legal help. Just is. And we also know that it's no surprise that there's been a flood of work, and therefore family law assistance, like the rest of the world, has changed. And we've been on that path of change, I'd say roughly now for the past, 2 years now. And now it's now nicely come together. You'll know that family law, there's a bit of law, there's quite a lot of law, but it's no run, pull on the Bailey. It's no one's citing case law or statute usually in everyday family law. But understanding and having that knowledge, that sass, that determination, that skin of a rhinoceros, quite honestly, that combined with that support is a beautiful melting pot. I've always maintained it. When people say to me, why don't you become solicitor and barrister? I don't want to. Legally qualified as I am super happy supporting you guys doing this. I have been doing this I've been working in civil litigation for about 20 years, and I've been doing this, supporting you guys, for the past nearly 13. So, I kind of get it. I really do get it. And I'm just super proud, very proud to bring together our graduates. It's been a journey, I don't mind saying, because I've banged on about it enough, but I've been super picky with who I pick to train, quite honestly. We do get quite a lot of calls, messages wanting to learn to train, turn away so much more than I take on. And now I'm so glad that I have. Our graduates are ready, willing, and can handle, that's more to the point, they can handle all the shit that family law is going to be able to throw at them. We know how busy it's gotten. I mean, we haven't stopped through lockdown, so we're preparing for that. As lockdown and the hope lifts, more of that is just, the floodgates are going to be open. So honestly, I've been the impatient one. I've been the one who go, okay, go. Can we not press go? Can we not press the big red button now? Why can't I press the big red button? So there's been a whole army, a whole army of background stuff that's taken place, that we now can reveal to you all. To what's been happening. So we've got the new website. You'll notice that you will begin to notice over the coming weeks that if you message us, we've got you covered. 3 a.m. in the morning, there'll be something available to you. In our website, you're going to be able to access nicely and neatly all of our blogs. So if there's anything that catches your mind, something that you relate to, you'll be able to see that. It doesn't matter what the volume of work now comes in. Now, part of the problem we've had before is that there's been only 2 of us. It's only been me and Stephen that's been able to cope with this. And as founders of Family Law Assistance, we realised that we needed to expand, because there was a ceiling, and I'm pleased to say that we've broken that ceiling now to bring you what you've been asking for, and honestly what you need. The people that have gone all the way and have joined the Family Law Assistance family are going to be there for you. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be arranging wise. They don't know that yet. To introduce you and let's see the face of Family Law Assistance. See the people that are going to be helping you. Get to know them. You're going to love them. Spoiler alert, you're going to love them. They're strong, they're determined, they're as sexy as shit. Is that a qualification though for family law? Who knows, but it certainly helps. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. They are sexy. I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous people. They're determined, they're strong, they're passionate, they've got a real desire, and they're bloody intelligent, you know, smart, strong. You're going to want these people on your team, okay? When you're battling in the court, you've got a hostile ex-solicitor, you've got all those allegations of abuse. You're going to need somebody strong and passionate and level-headed to tell you what you need to hear. Spoiler alert, you know, we're not here to tell you what you want to hear, we're here to tell you what you need to hear. And these people really do have it. So there you go, boys and girls. We have expanding, and we're now bringing it to you. By the way, I was speaking about this, I think it was yesterday, I don't know, the days blur. But if this is something that genuinely interests you, and the world has now pressed pause, and you're thinking, you know what, I want to be doing something meaningful for my life, and you think, I would like to be doing what I'm doing, then drop me a message, let me know, and let's have a chat. We are growing family law assistance, and I'm expanding the family. Exciting, right? I'm pausing because I was talking to somebody this morning who was interested, one of the few that I actually bothered to, you know, really take an interest in, and we were talking, and it just kind of stopped me in my tracks, really, because I thought, because you really do make a difference. As much as I joke, and as much as, and I am a little self-deprecating, but through that there's a real serious note, and the serious note is that you really are changing lives. People get to see their kids because of you. So if this is something that, if this is a career that you fancy, then give me a holler. Only if you're serious minded, only if you're committed, because quite frankly, if you're angry and you're not really in it, then don't bother. Anyway, on that amazing note, on that bombshell, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Like I said, let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want me to do a live about, and I will oblige. Anyway, take care. Bye.